Hey guys, my name is Matsumo, and welcome to another episode of Sunday Mailbox. This is a video series where you, the viewer, can submit your gaming-related questions, and then I'll give my humble opinion on them. To get the formalities out of the way real quick, if you'd like to submit your own question that could be featured in an upcoming episode, you can do so by leaving a comment down below, or by sending me a Facebook or Twitter message. The first question today comes from Andrew, and it is, do you think that Jackal needs a rework? I'm actually kind of surprised by how poorly Jackal is performing right now. If we take a look at the stats that Ubisoft provided us not too long ago, you'll notice that his pick rate is fine. Compared to a lot of the other offensive operators, he's doing okay in that category, but his win rate isn't looking good. He actually has the worst win rate on offense right now. And so this has led a lot of people, me included, to thinking that he could use some kind of an upgrade or just a rework in general. The question is, though, is how does Ubisoft go about it? One idea that I think is really interesting is make it so that when he's droning, he can actually see other players' footprints. One of the biggest weaknesses of Jackal right now is that a lot of times, if you're looking for footprints, that means your attention is diverted to what's happening around you. Some people have even suggested of taking it a step further and allowing Jackal to scan footprints while droning. Now, the reason why I feel like this is pushing things too far is that there needs to be a risk-reward system. If you're on the outside of a building in the relative safety behind cover, you're then able to just drone out, scan the footprints of a roamer, and then proceed on in. That just seems too powerful, especially in a 1v1 situation or you're trying to identify where someone is on the objective. Jackal is really designed to find roamers, not really weed people out that are on the objective itself. If you're able to quickly drone, scan, and then know where that person is, that is going to be really frustrating to deal with. And so I think that is pushing things too far. It would, of course, make him a lot better than he is right now. I think that would be an upgrade, but I don't know if that's the direction I would want Ubisoft to go. But if he could just simply see footprints, that may not be too bad. It goes with his theme. He is meant to track people down. If you're on the objective, it's not really going to do you a whole lot because you already know that someone's going to be there. But if you do see footprints, that could give you a good indication of where someone's heading and also where you might need to go if you do want to scan their footprints while you're not droning. And so I think that could be one way they go about it. Another simple solution is just simply making it so that his gadget is a lot more reliable. One of the reasons why I find Jackal to be very frustrating, even though I use him all the time, is that when you do activate his gadget, it causes your entire screen to darken. When you're playing on darker maps like Oregon, for example, it can be really difficult just to see the players that are hiding in the corner. And so just lightening that up a little bit, I think would be a nice improvement. They could also just simply make it so that if he does get hit while using his gadget, it doesn't cause such a large distortion on their screen. Yes, being able to see footprints might give you a slight advantage in some engagements, but a vast majority of the time, it's probably not going to do a whole lot to you. And so I don't know why they've put such a heavy penalty for getting hit while his gadget is activated, and so that could be another way they could go about making some improvements. Overall, though, I'm really curious to see how Ubisoft is going to go about improving this character. They do need to walk a fine line because obviously he is fairly popular, his pick rate is great, but his win rate compared to everyone else does need some sort of improving, and so I'm really curious to see how they're going to go about that. The next question comes from Matt, and it is, when the PlayStation 5 comes out, how will Ubisoft handle that for their console players and more split up player base? Well, if I had to take a guess, there isn't really going to be that much of a change. Sony has confirmed that the PlayStation 5 is going to be backward compatible, and so all of your games on the PS4, Rainbow Six Siege included, is going to be playable on the PS5. And so with that in mind, as long as the infrastructure is there and as long as people can play on the same server as people that are on the PS5, I don't know if that's going to be possible. I'm assuming it will. There shouldn't be an issue. What I'm really interested in learning, though, is will Ubisoft actually try to take advantage of that new hardware and give people on the PlayStation 5 more options? Will they give them more graphical fidelity? Will they make it so that you have a higher frame rate? Is there going to be something that they do to try to make some improvements, maybe a larger FOV compared to the PlayStation 4? Now, I realize not everyone may be on board with this idea, because if you do give the PlayStation 5 users more options and they're going against people on the old gen consoles, that could give them that slight edge. Someone who can adjust their FOV or adjust and change their graphical fidelity so that they can turn them on or off, make it better or worse, might give them that little bit of an advantage compared to everyone else that's on the previous console. But that's really what PC users have been accustomed to for the longest time, and so it really may not be that big of a deal. All in all, though, this is something that I don't think that you have to worry about as long as the infrastructure is there to support it. I'm actually more curious to see how Ubisoft handles things in the future with all of their other games, Siege included. They've been really going hard with updating and continuously supporting their titles, and so how is that going to shift into the next generation? I'm really excited to see what they come up with. The next question is, I've noticed you've been playing a lot of World War Z on stream, and I was wondering what your thoughts on it were. I've actually been pleasantly surprised with this game. The actual horde technology, when you see zombies literally pouring off of a rooftop, charging at you as fast as they can, like, it is an actual incredible experience the first time you play this game. And the fact that you're able to overcome those odds and come out on top because of the other gameplay mechanics, like, it leads to a lot of satisfying moments. Now, that doesn't mean that it's perfect. They have a PvP mode, which admittedly feels really tacked on. The netcode is atrocious. Like, I know people think that Rainbow Six Siege and other big multiplayer games out there have really bad netcode. This is on a whole other level. There's really no way for you to dodge, and so if you're out in the open, you're completely exposed. There's no cover system. Like, it just kind of feels like a tacked on mode. I know that some people are enjoying it because they do incorporate the zombies in there, but overall, I just feel like the real meats and potatoes of this game is the co-op campaign. Now, as for that campaign, it's really satisfying. There's a steady progression. You can start off easy, which eases you, of course, into what this game is all about. And then as you level up, you get new perks, you get stronger weapons, you upgrade said weapons. You can then start to do the harder difficulties. The insane mode, for example, really lives up to its name. Even if you have a 4-man team, you're all working together, you're over voice comms, you have the best weapons fully upgraded, your character is at max level, you're even gonna have a hard time coming out on top on some of these missions. Like, that insane mode really does provide a challenge. I think the one thing I would like to see improved with this game is just to have more variety in the actual special zombies. There are a few, like some that charge you, like the bull, they'll try to sneak up behind you and jump you, like the lurker, for example, but that's really about it. There's not a lot of variety in the special zombies to kind of mix up the horde gameplay, and I think if they especially added some more special ones towards the higher difficulties, that would kind of spice things up a little bit more. Overall, though, I have been very pleasantly surprised with this game so far. I might make a more in-depth video in the future to kind of go into more specific details of what I like and what I dislike about the game, but the fact that it is, like, I think $35 on PC, I think $40 on console, it provides a lot of content to experience, and while it does have its bugs and glitches, it's not a perfect game. If you are looking for this kind of a gameplay experience, what it does very well. The next question is, what do you think about adding a setting in a Siege that allows players to set priority to a certain amount of operators so that when you're AFK, it will try and choose one of those operators? Honestly, my advice would just be to not go AFK as much. I realize that life happens. You might get a phone call, someone knocks on your door, you need to step away from your computer or your TV, you need to go do something, and it'd be nice if it would select that specific operator for you. And that's one of the reasons why I really like the addition that they've added. Not having an AFK recruit, having an operator that actually brings more to the table compared to recruit, I think was a really nice addition for Ubisoft to add. But I don't think they should add in a priority system, because that's just going to incentivize people to simply just back away or step away from their computer and go AFK as soon as they get taken out. If you now have the assurance that you're gonna get one of your favorite operators, even if you are AFK, what's your incentive to sit there and make callouts? If you get taken out at the beginning of a match, that isn't the end of the round for you. If you got a Valkyrie, you could view their cameras, or an Echo. You could just simply view all of the cameras that are scattered around the map and make those specific callouts to your teammate to give your teammates that little bit of an edge. It may not be advantageous every single time, but if all you do is constantly go AFK as soon as you get taken out because you now know you have the reassurance that you're going to get the operator that you want, I honestly think that more people would be incentivized to actually go AFK more often. And so once again, I do understand where you're coming from. Life happens, you gotta go do something every once in a while. I really don't think that Ubisoft should keep adding more and more things that actually assist people who are off going doing other things and not actually focusing on the game in front of them, especially if you are playing ranked. But of course, that is just my 2 cents. But yeah, guys, that is what it for today's episode of Sunday Mailbox. I hope you enjoyed. Let me know what you thought about what we discussed in today's video. Do you think that Jackal needs some improving? How do you think that Ubisoft should go about it? Do you believe that he's in a well-balanced state right now and doesn't need any tweaks? Let me know down below. As always, if you'd like to submit your own question for an upcoming episode, you can also leave a comment or by sending me a Facebook or Twitter message. But until next time, guys, have a good one and take it easy.